Tuesday the 25th of April 2023. This is Amble, the beginning of the stretch from Amble to Bamburgh. Last time I came here I didn't know precisely where to finish because the signs didn't seem to be very complete, so I finished at the village at the information centre, which is just round the corner here, and the path seems to go past that. There are now a lot of signs because it carries on after this point, obviously, to Bamburgh. So we come to this corner, which is well signed: England Coast Path North, England Coast Path South, and then we get the information centre where I finished several years ago. You turn the corner and this is the first sign I came across that got me on the right lines. It said against it here, England Coast Path North, so it'll get us through the village. And at the crossroads, the sign tells us to carry on. Carrying on along the main street of Amble. I was going to cross this road and carry on along because I couldn't see a sign, but it's there on the corner, hidden away. So I'm going down here. I wasn't sure that it seemed familiar from the Northumberland Coast Path that I did quite a long time ago now, over this bridge. I hope to get to Craster before 3:30. That gives me 6.5 hours to do what I think is about 13 miles. So it's over this bridge. Plenty of signs. And plenty of boats. More signs. Generally the signage is very good, joining the main access to the marina now. And across it and past the yacht club. I haven't seen a sign recently. I don't know whether this is the correct way, but it's certainly getting along the way. Soon to be joining the road to Warkworth. Looking back a little bit across the River Coquette. Amble History Trail, and it was the right way. Here's the signboards, possibly not signed through the yacht club, and then we follow it until we get to the bridges at Warkworth. And there's a handy resting place there. I think the River Coquette is one of my favourite rivers in the UK. The Coquette Valley going on into the Cheviot. Very nice area. Anyway, we're about a third of the way to Warkworth. There was a couple walking the other way. I asked where they'd started. They then started at Warkworth. And when I said I was going to Craster, it was suggested that I wanted a kipper. That's not true, is it? I want the bus at 3:30. A mini weir just here, well on the track. And entering Warkworth. Still on the road towards Warkworth. Before the track branches off to the right, we have to climb up a little bit. They even go as far as the T-junction. Here is the T-junction with its signs to Alnmouth. We turn right. We've got another sign. Runner with the view of the castle as we turned at the T-junction, and one of the reasons to visit Warkworth. So there's the castle as we leave the main road. The sign tells us to take half right down this side road. Still down the road to return to the river. Interesting set of street names. Something close. The one we're on is called Wellfield. And we have another one on the corner here, Greens Park. That was Greens Park with an apostrophe. Now there's no sign here to say whether we go right next to the river or whether we go along the road. So I choose to go along the road. Continuing along the road. And there's a property for sale here. The old school, is it? To come to the bridges, I think. And to my surprise, instead of directing us across the road and over the old bridge, it takes us across the new bridge. The way that sign is pointing. So that's 2 miles done. I'm revisiting the old bridge, although I will return and do the correct route in a second. There is the old bridge. There's a River Croquette sign. I can see why it doesn't cross this side. It's a rather dangerous corner to cross. Looking back and having crossed over the road again onto the correct path. I do notice though that the sign is on this side of the road again, so I'm going to go back across the bridge. This is the approach to the old bridge through the entrance. Warquith Bridge, 14th century, carried traffic for almost 600 years. The new bridge was built and opened in 1965. So over the old bridge I go, but I've been over the new bridge in case that's the route. Not such a bad view of traffic from this side of the road, awkward corner otherwise, and it's across there and up the hill. Looking back on the river before I climb the hill. At the top of the hill, the official route follows the road rather than going down the track at the side of the river. So it follows the road for quite a way. Or I thought it did. We come here and we see a path here. So well, that's more pleasant than walking along the road. Coming to the end of that piece now. Take you if you don't want to be on this, alright. So where the road turns left, it's across the road, and so we're going down here. Almost 5. Ah, we're returning to the sea. One can stay here free for 3 days. And downhill through a bit of a shingly picnic area at the bottom. And the view looking back to Amble. And the golf course. And at the bottom, across past the end of the golf course. And then just before the dunes, it's sharp left. Warquith has given us 3/4. Almost now 4.5. Please follow the public footpath marked with white stakes. Why not come up to the clubhouse or drink or a meal? Well, I won't get to Craster by 3:30 if I do that. It's now 10 o'clock and still at the side of the golf course. Quite a way by the look of it. England Coast Path National Trail and St Oswald's Way and Northumberland Coast Path, so quite a busy one. And sound in the background. And down there, there's a little group of cowslips. And just about 10:10 now. The track's following the valley between the dunes, overgrown dunes, well established, and at last as we clamber up a slight hill in the path we return to the sea. The access to the beach just here. I think there's a car park on the left as well. Across the bridge up there. Follow the path round over the bridge, and Almouth is full. Carry on.
Okay.
And after a confusing sign, we're up here. And we can see from here the signs at the top of the bank, so it's the path climbing up. Please take care, be aware of flying golf balls as we arrive at the top. It says Almouth is 4 miles. Quite a number of caravans here. A slight descent and you can see the beach before we get to Almouth. And we have to go via the track next to the road. Following the track round, we're told that there's no entry on that private part, which is helpful. Tells us to go this way. And then it turns right down, inevitably, and up the other side. Still going down. At the bottom there is a little bridge. Almost now 3.5. Over the bridge to Almouth Dunes. The stone wall with the road in the distance. We're going to join that eventually to get round the mouth of the River Alne. Almouth coming clearer into view now. Some of it behind the bush there. And there's a clearer view of it as we clear the bush. From here it looks as if the path keeps to the flat area to the left of the dunes. Down at the bottom it looks like this. A sign, public bridle away to Shortridge Hall. Walk with 2 1/3 that way, and Almouth still 3 this way. Not going down very much. And we come out of Almouth Dunes. As we begin to pull away from the dunes, we reach another post, Almouth 2 3/4, walk with 2 3/4, so I've done about 5 miles so far. And it's about 11:15. We pass a remote cottage, needs a little bit of renovation, on a wide track, and then I think it turns left so that we can get over the River Alne. No overnight parking. The bathing is unsafe near the river estuary, and this is where we turn. Hipsburn 1 3/4. And where we've come from, Berlin Cars. I knew we'd come there. There is a path that way, which I think takes you over the estuary, probably only to be attempted at spring tides, March and September. That is the view over the estuary towards Alnmouth. And there's a train just disappearing. Now we have a turn off this nice track. It's a permissive access track, which looks like this when you're through the gate, and the track continues like this. And we come to a gate, kindly left open by the person who's just gone through. And we come through that gate and onto this track. This looks like a church, but it's probably a farm. That's the area we're getting round. Mouth of the River Aln. The tide appears to be out at the moment, and then we've got the farm buildings and the sign making us turn sharp left, with an auxiliary sign at the bottom showing left and then right. Which gets us round the building, and we have another sharp left. Byway. That's the view the other way. No vehicle access to beach. And look, a little lay-by car park up there where people walk from. So it isn't a lay-by. It's a passing place with no parking. We come to the road, still 2 miles to Alnmouth, and the gates are just closed for the train. And here it is. And one going the other way as well. And the X20 buses just passed as well. As it is, we've got our sign there. We've got Almost there, and we're going down making use of the cycle track. Over the fields and the estuary and the river we can see the bridge. We're going to cross that soon. Still going on the cycle track. The side of the main road. Now we can see the bus passing over the bridge. We have an abrupt change of direction here. There's a rather nice seat which I'm going to use. Have a bit of chocolate. But the path turns to the right and then to the left to pick up the road to Alnmouth. And that's the view from the seat. Halfway down the path, the bridge, the walk up the other side of the river and the estuary. Another corner and now zigzag. And some stepping stones. I can see why the stepping stones are there now, because even if you try and go around it, it's deep mud. 4 miles Walkworth, 20 miles Ashington, 20 miles Sea Houses, 3/4 Alnmouth. Network 1 cycle route. 4 miles Walkworth means 6 miles altogether in 2.5 hours. Almost still a mile. Better cross over the road, I think. We've got also signs on that side. It doesn't look particularly safe going on this side of the road. We cross over and see that it's not along the pavement. It's along this special track. Which will lead to its own special footbridge, I believe. Single file traffic. The sign coming up for Alnmouth. It's out onto the pavement first. Four and 3/4 and 3/4. Alnmouth. At last I get to the bridge with the arches, and here's the separate footpath and a bit more of the estuary of the River Aln with the tide out. Looks as if it's still going out. We go along the dedicated footpath bridge. Maybe a cycle bridge as well. With the sign telling us to turn right and walk on the edge of the river. There it is. The last time I came on here the tide was well in. It was lapping at the side of this wall. Today it still looks as if it's going out, although that might be an effect of the wind. It's quite peaceful and sheltered on this bit of the walk at the moment. And the river doesn't go straight out, it curls round here into that part over there before making its way to sea. Some of the properties in Alnmouth, I think they were building that one about 10 years ago. And then the memorable row of houses that you can see well from the train. They're pretty colours. And we swing around rapidly to find our track. and the river. It twists and turns a bit here. And the final twist in the path into Almouth, and that's about as close as we get to those. That other property standing out there. Coming out from that little path, Lovers Walk apparently. And now the England Coast Path is not going anywhere. Well, nowhere in particular. A gaggle of people looking up at that hill. All with their binoculars trained. It appears still to be directing us along the road, or the narrow pavement. And having come up Riverside Road, we get to a sign which is now directing us away from the coast. It's going down the main street. We have lots of scuffling going off in these properties. And the view from the viewpoint, including the signboard and description about Almouth Bay and Coquette Island. Now I'm following what that sign says, which is straight down there. We have a confirmation sign on the side of the pavement here. And another one on the side. Linked to those doing the route, it's nice and useful to have these repeater signs on the posts. Thank you. And we're past the church. It's coming up to noon. They're still carrying on along the main street here. And at the junction of the road here we have the sign that turns us right up the slight hill. This doesn't look good. Craster's 7 1/4. Yeah, that's alright. I have 3.5 hours to do that. But the hill doesn't look so good. Just about up that. Oh, that wasn't so good. Whoever invented that bit of the route up that hill. And you can see how far up we've come. Ooh. So peaceful up here. Well, it was until the lawnmower started up just there. He's cutting the grass at the side of the path. useful seats at various intervals, nice views from them. I seem to recollect last time I came I was on the lower path down there at the side of the golf course. Here's a signpost telling us that it is the right path, but again it's not going anywhere in particular. And we're at the side of a different golf course. Well, it's the same golf course, and we've come down to its level then. More signs, and yet more path. Danger from golf balls, keep left close to wall and fence. So I'm keeping close to this wall and fence on top of the wall, indicated by the white pieces on top. But if somebody's aiming the ball straight at that hole there, it's right in line with where I am. I thought that was an old pump, but I think it's a bell to remind us that somebody's about to hit a ball. And we're coming to the end of the golf course. England coast path north and south, and some places to stay in. And still the England coast path isn't going anywhere, but there's a lot of ups and downs. That often happens when you get on the cliff top walks. And onwards. At the top, having come down a bit, when we're coming through the golf course, that was slightly downhill. There's rather interesting properties there. Overlook this at lower tide. I thought it was going to go that way, but it goes back towards the golf course. Nearly in somebody's back garden here, the other side of the wall. What does it say? Path is here. Here we are, England coast path is this way. It goes round here and through the ground, out along here. Right, it's an interesting little bit. If all the path was paved like this, it would make the job a lot easier. And still the England coast path is not going anywhere except north. And then it's turning here, Craster 6. And we get another sign here directing us there, down that track, and down we go, no doubt to go up again very soon. We turn off left before the very bottom, and after a change of battery, if we go again, here's our left turn. England coast path north. We've still got flying golf balls, and can't get rid of them. And up these steps. The last sign I saw was 8 miles with 3 hours. Now was it 6 miles? I think it was 6 miles, which is even better. Coming out from that, every now and again you get views like this, deserted beaches. When the wind's stopped, it's not too bad. Fairly cold otherwise. still more flying golf balls over the bridge. And again up the other side. Wish it would tell us how far. At this point we have to cross the golf course, looking out for golf balls from the right, but I can't see anybody playing that way. We've just passed a golf ball. Now we approach the road and it curves around the edge of the golf course. But this golf course is going on forever. Down the side of the golf course, with the trees in between the path and the road. The side turning is left and through the gate. Through the gate. Into the mud. I've forgotten which way it was going now. Having gone back and had a look the other side of the gate, it's straight on. You can see the footprints this way. I couldn't see a sign at first on this gate, but it's a nice new gate, so I think it must be the way. And then when we get closer to it, we can see the yellow one. And it's one of these down and up the other side. There's the view of the beach. The sign says Craster 5.5, public footpath along the beach, Craster 5.5 up a little hill here, and we have about just over 2 hours. And that's the view from the top. One or two properties overlooking the sea. That one's got wheels on the end. And this one's got wheels at both ends. At the junction of paths, we're told to turn left. A lot of work being done on the properties here. A long low building, the big one there. Where does it go now? Along this one. There's the sign points across the scrubland bit. And we join that and it says private land. So I don't know where the path goes after that. Although it says private land, we do have on here St Oswald Way and Northumberland Coastal Path, so I'm assuming the England Coast Path goes the same way, although I'm surprised there isn't a sign for it. I've studied the detailed plan, but I can't work out exactly where I am, although I can see Seaton Point. Direction of path, but the public footpath goes that way and this way. England Coast Path, yes. So it's all right. Down here. Just past the caravans on Seaton Point. It's a bit strange seeing the sea on the left which is that white over there. So we've got the sea all around just about. And through the gate. And on the other side of the gate. Is this something to do with Bamburgh? We're approaching Bamburgh. Buttercups and cowslips together. And another sign here, almost was 3, but we don't know how far to Craster. I have 2 hours 20 minutes. Access to the beach, 4 people walking on the beach. Does it say anything helpful on the sign apart from the direction? I don't think it does. So, although it's pointing in that direction, it goes in this direction. Bamburgh Volunteer Rescue Service. So it was meant to be pointing to the road, a section along the road. Past the boat. Hall, Bamburgh. I think a repeater sign along the road there would have been helpful, although we have arrived at a small sign here. England Coast Path, Craster 4. Oh, 2 hours. Right. Past the properties coming out on the north side of Bamburgh. Coming to a gate on the route, turn sharp right. Out, straight out to sea, is it? I don't think it turns sharp right, it's at an angle that's going on down the track we're on. Nice level, even track. There's another gate. This time we do turn to the right. That's cycle route 1. We turn to the right. This is the right path with the sea on the right, but once again, we've got the sea on the left. Possibly Craster in the distance. And the path turning to the left, inevitably to get round the edge of the sea. Down to the cycle track again. No distance to Craster. There's lots of gates here. I'm choosing this one. Over a river. Being quickly caught up by a group of half a dozen walkers. They do a junction here, but the sign is telling us to go to the right. Again with no distance. So we come to a gate, and over a bridge, inevitably up the other side. So over the bridge. The other side, a variety of signs. The cyclist going to the left and the England coast path going uphill to the right. Of course it is. Have a decent path. It's about 1:45. And still the same track, but this time with a view of the sea, although not a very appetising beach. See the path further on, and some people even further up. And we join a wall. And another gate. some interesting rock formations around there. And they're up the hill. Up the hill. Must be getting near Craster now, because I can see Bamburgh Castle in the distance, and Craster's before that. And it's 2:10. I've got 1 hour 20 to get to the bus stop in Craster. We're at the side of the road now. Bit of a parking spot here. Signboard with no names. Down a bit and up the other side. And another gate. As long as it doesn't drop down too much. It looked a bit worse than it is, I think, from further away. We have a bridge over there. There is a bit of uphill here. If you can't see the barbed wire, then you don't know which way to go. But it's down here. And then left, I guess. Like turning the path, and then it's sharp left along the shore, and we're at Craster. Three of the group of walkers caught me up now because I've got an hour left to get to Craster, which is only just over there. Nearly at Craster now. About 50 minutes time for the bus. And the track becomes shingly. At 2:38 we're just entering Craster now. tells us Bamburgh is full, but it's not told us how far to Craster for a long time. Anyway, we're here now. Just find the bus shelter, about 45 minutes. There's one of those. This looks like the entrance to the bus shelter. So there's a little track I've just come up, and there's the bus shelter, the bus to Alnwick 1532, Hobbs 3.